fine. Okay, I was not sure if the 30 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to present my screen, if it works this time. Micheline, can you confirm that my screen is available, or someone else?
Yeah, it's good. I can see it.
Good.
Great.
So yeah, so this presentation is mostly to explain a few things that you can need to know. So first, welcome on the Côte d'Azur. That's a nice picture of Nice. For those who know this place, the teachings will be in Sophia Antipolis because Université Côte d'Azur has different buildings. It's not like we have only one big campus. So most of the teachings will be in Sophia Antipolis, and Sophia Antipolis is on the hills on the background of the picture. To see this a bit more in details, I don't know if you see my points, but Nice so is here in top right, and Sophia Antipolis is on the west of this picture. So immediately to know for the accommodation things, I will discuss different options in Sophia Antipolis directly. If you like to live in the forest, but maybe you want also to enjoy your stay more close to the sea, and so you've got different options with Antibes, Cannes, and Nice. And all this area is well connected with different public transports, which are working quite well, of course, when there is no strike in France. So I will give you also this PowerPoint just after, so you can see it maybe more in details. But what I would like to show here is that Les Lucioles, the blue point here, which is the campus. So it's well connected to different cities or sometimes even villages where it's nice to live for a few months. So if you're searching after that on the platforms I will introduce later, you can search for cities like Biot, Antibes, of course, Juan-les-Pins, Valoris, and even Nice, because even if Nice is at 25 kilometers from the city center of Nice is at 25 kilometers from Les Lucioles, we have a really good bus connection with really comfortable buses that I enjoy doing a long time, so you can try. And on this document that you will have after that, you can click on the bottom right corner, you have some links if you want to already explore the network transit. So on this slide, you see Sophia Antipolis, and our campus is the blue part, the campus Les Lucioles. By the way, Les Lucioles means fireflies, and we have plenty of fireflies currently. And the yellow parts are the UCA related buildings. I know if you know CNRS and other things like that. So to show you that we are really in the heart of this of the Sophia Antipolis complex. You also have some life support systems like Saint-Philippe, or I mean places where you can find food and bars, and of course if it's open. Next semester we'll see, and some shopping centers. I don't know if it's clear on this picture, but it's really a forested hill. So yeah, if you like forest, it's really nice. But don't be afraid, there are also ways to find food and drinks. Those are our facilities here at Les Lucioles. By the way, you can see the screens which are behind me in the room that you see on the top left. So here, these rooms are dedicated to our program here, the marine program, which is called Mares here, so you will be part of. So there are different rooms, one which is bigger than this one, and also different, so the little lab and a study room and so on. There is also a learning center and a cafeteria, which is kind of on the other side, across the street. But here at Sophia, across the street can mean to walk for a few minutes. It's something like 500 meters, 1 kilometer maximum. So yeah, this is for the cafeteria and also library, but to be honest, most of the students, they stay here because we have already a little library here with my books and sofas and things like that. Then you may have questions after this for the housing accommodation. We have different options, starting with something really basic, which is really cheap, but to be honest, really, once again, it's really basic. This is called the CIV option. CIV stands for the French term Centre International de Valbonne, that welcomes international students of different ages, from kids to students in higher education. Once again, I really want to be honest, these rooms are really simple, basic comfort, but here you've got a room, all breakfasts, also all dinners, so I repeat, the room, all breakfast, all dinners, and the lunch during the weekends and the bank holidays for 420 euros per month, which is really not expensive in France. So each of these rooms are furbished with so you have a wash basin, wardrobe, a desk, and bed, of course. They are cleaned weekly, but as you can see in the picture, the showers and toilets are shared on each floor. And you have a cafeteria, as I told you, for dinners, breakfasts, and also for the lunch during the weekends. You can always choose between meat and fish for the dish. Just to know that apparently it's not the best offer for fully vegetarian people and also persons suffering from severe food allergies. So if you're part of these people, you have maybe to tell us. As you can see, there is also a little cinema, which is brand new. You have 2 to 3 English movies per week with really cheap fare, something like 4 euros. And yeah, and it's part of a forest thing. Once again, you have a large outdoor sport facilities. So yeah, but once again, it's cheap, but it's basic comfort. We have other possibilities with private residences. So those are not part of UCA, but at Sophia Antipolis, you have different private residences, which are good, but more expensive. Here we are talking about more something like 500 to 600 euros per month without food. It can be something from 15 to 40 square meter. And of course you have more services, it's nicer. And the closest to our building is the one called Le Magister, which is the 4th one here on this slide. Once again, you can click, I will do it. Again, you can click on these links on the PDF. And finally, something that opened last year and with a lot of success is a UCA StudApart platform. So StudApart is, I don't know if you know that, it's a startup that's proposing that in different universities, at least in France. So here we have a connection with StudApart, and here it's a platform where owners can propose their flats. It can be, a flat for one person or shared, and so you can apply for the flats. And the good point is that these offers are checked by StudApart. You may know that you have a lot of other platforms online where you may have bad surprises. So here it's supposed to be checked and okay. Once again, you can click on this link, and this is in English. So really briefly, as I told you, you will be part here of a local program called MARES, which is also an international program. So it means a lot of our students are international. So that's why we have to be prepared for international students anyway. I mean, without you. So I'm Christophe Moquet, by the way, and I'm one of the 2 program directors. So there are different board members and course coordinators, and UCA has different labs working on the marine resources, marine biological resources, and that's why we wanted our local program to be highly interdisciplinary. EcoSys, for example, work on ecology and conservation. IRCAN is more on the individual level with physiology, toxicology, and you have one on biotechnology and chemistry, the ICN. One lab is working on the law of the sea, and another one on the blue growth through economy and management. And just a word to show you like kind of a lot of people, but it's just all the instructors to tell you that you have, of course, instructors which are researchers and teachers here at Université Côte d'Azur. It's the first panel, but also teachers coming from other academic institutions. a lot from Monaco. And if you know, but there are two institutions in Monaco which are interesting. For us, it's the Centre Scientifique de Monaco, working a lot on corals and ecosystem services. And the IAEA, which is the International Atomic Energy Agency, working on marine ecosystems, this one. Schema is a business school where I'm working also, and so you also benefit from that part. When we talk about conservation, it's important to know the socio-economic impact of conservation. And so you also have instructors coming from private companies and NGOs. For example, for you, one which will be really important, it's Créocéan. Florian Briand will discuss a lot the aspect of impact assessment. He's working in Créocéan, which is a consultancy company in an environment. Yeah, so just to tell you that we have a mix of academics, but also private company people. Before I turn to what's going on next year with the blended learning approach, just some practicalities for you, even if some things can change, with the situations. But the favorite scenario is that the welcome day will be on September 28th. You will be welcomed by the students of the local program and our staff. So then the schedule with the courses is from September 29 to mid-December, December 18. The idea is that the last class will take place on December 11, and then you will have exams. But also you can stay until December 18, even if the classes are over. For example, to advance on your online class if you need. So different modules, you're supposed to know them already. The first one, dynamics of marine biodiversity and conservation. It's mostly on measuring biodiversity, so metrics in biodiversity. Also understanding biodiversity through different tools that can be morphological, so when we observe them, but also genetic. Human-induced impacts on coastal ecosystems. So it's something which is largely open on perspectives to private job opportunities in consultancy companies. And the third one, management and conservation of coastal areas, is something like the continuation of the marine ecology class you had before, focusing more on marine protected areas, but also on the connection with the society. So with the society like people, the development of people in developing countries, but also how economy can participate to conservation. Also, you should have an online module at IMBSC, and we will be here also to help you for the project and data management. And you can also participate to a module here, which is on communication, which is not mandatory, but if you want. Also, we strongly recommend you to have a laptop up and running because we use a lot the laptops and interactions with, for example, the screens behind me in class. Also, you will see that just after, we will have to go through a blended learning approach. It means that some of the classes will be on site, but a part will be also online. Hopefully, it will be possible to maintain social activities, social events, and field trips. And during that moments, we can provide you with meals. And so it's important that during the summer, you tell us if you have special diets or any food allergies. And last thing on that point, communication. Of course, you will receive a UCA email address, and your teachers will communicate to you mostly through that. But also we use WhatsApp a lot to communicate between students, but also between students and the course coordinators. And here, all the courses are on a Moodle platform, which is the e-learning platform. So all the courses, the documents, the videos, the exams, everything is on this e-learning platform. So I propose we go through the whole presentation, and I'm coming back with your questions after. I'm just opening this to check that we're still online. Yes. Okay. So yeah, I showed you some picture of Nice before. To be honest, Nice was looking like that mostly in the last month. You know, for which reason? So to give you an update on the situation here in France and in Nice. So we're in part of France which is green on the map of COVID. It means that the virus is not circulating here. So we're happy because we can more or less move freely with masks and hydroalcoholic gels, of course. Anyway, we have to anticipate possible scenarios for fall, for September, October, November, and that's why we are turning all our courses into a blended learning approach. That means that most of the lectures, so in other words, the one-way transmission of information, when the teacher gives you the information, this will be mostly extracted from the on-site learning and will be in a self-study approach. So I will go through that now. Sorry. So just for you to know that the blended learning approach means that it's a hybrid between a face-to-face that you may know a lot in your background and an e-learning approach. So the idea is not to replace the teacher as a whole, but the idea is more to anticipate the moments that we'll have with the teacher in live, in face-to-face, thanks to an e-learning part. So in other words, the idea is that you will pass through a part which is in self-study, online, passing through what we call video capsules. One video capsule is short, it's something 10 to 30 minutes. It's accompanied by external documents, additional documents, of course, also some activities. And the idea is that you can go to the next capsule if and only if you have acquired the good knowledge, so you have some kind of self-assessment. And regularly, something every week, you also have interactions with a teacher. So once again, if you have a look back to your previous semesters, when you are in a classroom, we have mostly three types of face-to-face interactions with you. Lectures, so mostly what I told you, this mostly unilateral transmission of information. Those are the parts that will be online next semester. So we have a team here to constitute all of these capsules. But anyways, the interaction with the students will be maintained. Practicals, coaching or tutored work will be maintained live with you. And the evaluation, some evaluation will be synchronous, so live. Imagine like presentations, for example, but others will be asynchronous with videos, quiz, essays, or workshop. So how it's going to work? The idea is that currently our team is redesigning the different modules to segment them into different small capsules. And for each capsule, it means one capsule is one notion, one topic. Okay, so it's going to be something between 10 to 30 minutes. And one capsule video will be associated, as I told you, with additional documents like reading, scientific articles, practicals, exercises. And so this can lead to a new capsule. And this association of capsules and additional documents will lead you to an interactivity with us, a face-to-face interaction, which is live. So now, a big question for some of you maybe. This live session can be on site in small groups, but it's also possible to do this remotely. Because once again, some of our students are not European students. So they will not be able to join us in September, October. So everything is done here to have interactions with the students, as you can see currently. And so we have tools to ensure that you will fully participate to the program, even if you're not able to join us physically. Okay, to see that differently, like you see here, segmentation of a module in different sub-modules. In blue, it's the self-studies for you with the capsules, the readings, and the assignments. And in green, it's a face-to-face moment to answer your questions, to go further, to also for some coachings, because some classes requires really coaching. And so those moments will be maintained. The idea here is not just to answer to a problem we have with the COVID. The idea is clearly to transform our courses into a blended learning approach. It's something we wanted to do already in the last years. So the situation is really terrible for a lot of people, but the idea here is that we want to transform this, this challenge into really an opportunity. So don't think that we are just recording a class of 3 hours and put it on YouTube. This is not the idea. Here's the idea that during 3 months, we will invest a lot of time, energy, and people to create these new tools. And these new tools should be maintained after that in the years after. Because thanks to that, we can measure much more your understanding with these different capsules, each of them with kind of checkpoint. Also, you can customize your path through the modules. Some of you may have more difficulties in, I know, ecophysiology or in some numerical tools with R, I don't know. And with this part in the self-study, you can redo it again, you can take your time, and so you can customize your path. And also, this is supposed to make you more active and autonomous, because sometimes you will encounter problems in your assignments, and well, the teacher will not be there in front of you at that moment. He will be there in front of you, but after 1 or 2 days. So the idea is that you can search for the answer before going to see the teacher. So it remains for me to speak about just a few more details. So the plan, once again, is to transform all our modules into these different segmented modules. And just for you to know that currently you've got so people which are being hired for doing that. So to reconstruct the architecture of the classes, to also homogenize the different course materials, to record the different capsules, and then also we have a technical team working on post-production and also on assembling all of that on the e-learning platform. The tools we use, so this is Moodle. This is a tool that we use for already 2 years. As I told you, all the documents, videos, quiz, assignments, exams, everything in that. And all the new tools we will use are also integrated in this Moodle platform. So this is the tool we will use mostly for the lectures, which will be asynchronous. This is Panopto. And here in Panopto, you can see that you use Panopto combines the video of the teacher, the course documents, that you can navigate through the course documents. Also, Panopto is good and creating chapters. So it's, in other words, I'm not sure it's this verb exists, chapterizing, or well, it's creating chapters of all the modules. Also, you can search for keywords because it will extract keywords from the lectures. So it's something kind of really, really friendly to use. So this is for the lectures, for the asynchronous parts. And for the synchronous parts, we will use Zoom for the simple exchanges, where it's not really a class, but more to exchange with you. For example, if you're distant, not here, just to check if everything is okay. And then for the synchronous exchanges with students that could not be on site, we use big blue button, BBB, that you may have used already with IMBRC, I don't know. And here, which is good, is that you can share the whiteboard. It means we can all draw, point something on the whiteboard on the PPT. So this is something really good, and also the recording are directly available on Moodle. Yep, that was supposed to be a video, okay. And also something we use more now, it's Wooclap. Wooclap, it's a way to interact with students that can be on site, but also distant. So it means at the same time, we can interact with students that could be in a classroom, but also students that will be at home or somewhere else. So what you see here, for example, we tested that during a game night with the Mare students. And so the idea that so the teacher can ask questions. So here it was a game night, so it's not related to your conservation approach, of course. But the teacher can ask questions. These questions appear on the screen of the room, on the screen of your laptop, and you answer to this question directly on your phone. This is not just a gadget, but it's a really nice way to interact with the students which are present, but also those who are absent at the same time, and everybody feel together thanks to that. Yep. So last thing maybe, yeah. Sometimes when you have big presentation, but I'm not sure it will be really applicable for you during your stay, but we also use YouTube Live for broadcasting seminars or presentations, something like that, or online social events that we will develop with our students. Yep, so currently it's still like that, but really soon I guess it will fill up with tourists and a lot of people, and I hope with you. So that's all for me, and I can propose you now to ask questions. I'm open for questions. I like to see a face of people, so if you ask questions, can you just activate your camera also? Hello, Lynn. So once again, I will just answer currently as far as I know. Maybe something I don't know yet. I didn't say. What we know from now is, according to the government, is that there is no quarantine for people coming from Europe, and it's not supposed to be put in place, except if you have other countries in Europe creating quarantines for the French, so as a measure of if you heard about the British, they want to put quarantine for the French, so the French will say, okay, if you do that, we'll put quarantine for you too. But currently there is no quarantine for the European students. For the non-European students, that's something which is more unsure. The government is still apparently not sure that it's possible for non-European students to join France for studies before January 2021. That's why we have students which are in the situations, in the local program. And that's why we are creating these courses and the interactivity with the students to be sure that even if you are not from Europe, and so even if you're not able to join us in September, October, you can participate to the program. Yeah, another question asking for a friend that couldn't be present on visas. Will they give us documentation to start the process? Yep, good question. Honestly, I know we asked the question to our governance. I'd asked again to our government, the context to our government, and it's still not clear exactly when it's opened. To my 4G, maybe it's better. So to come back on your question on the visas, so different things. First, if the question is about the admission letter, all the students will receive an admission letter, even those who are not from Europe, of course. So with this admission letter, you can start the visa procedure. And also you will be part of a mailing list, the same mailing list as our local students, or our local future students, where you will receive all the information for that. Also, together with a link to download the presentation I showed you today, I will also give you a link for the part of our website where you have information for international students or future international students. Also, there were other questions, but now I'm back, and so I don't see anything anymore. I think it's about field trips.
There's in fact one more question from Olivia. She's asking whether you have any alternatives if field trips cannot take place.
Yep, that's one of the challenging questions, but it's interesting to think out of the box. We have different types of field trips. one which is related on plankton collection and analysis. And so we are supposed to be on a boat. So that part, I'm not sure we can do because it's not only our decision, of course. But then what we can do is to create different small groups for the plankton party, we call that. And then there is also some labs in biodiversity when you observe like mollusks and things like that. So we are planning to organize that more in a kind of museum way where you can pass through different parts, but not together in the same room. Yeah, so different things are organized, but it's still really hard to know exactly what will be possible or not. You may know that currently the situation is getting better in France, but the authorities are still very concerned by possible return of the COVID in fall. So we are still preparing two scenarios, one with everything okay, and the other one with backup.